got a quick word. I got a quick word. Hey everybody, jump on in, jump on in, jump on in. I got a really quick word. And I was just going to make a 3-minute video, but God said, hold on, do the live and then do the video. So jump on in, you guys. Come on in, come on in. Everybody come on in. I pray that your morning has been blessed so far. I'm just starting my day. Hi, welcome in, welcome in. Hey everybody, join on in. Okay. Today I'm gonna be on for probably 10 minutes or less. Hi, good morning. I just got a word that God really wanted us to sit with each other, and I can like dive into it with you guys really quick. So he has me in the book of Matthew for this last week. Hi, Katie. Hey, Michaela. You guys jump on in, jump on in. Yeah, but God, he has me dealing with Matthew this whole week. I actually want to say from like Thursday last week until now. He's having me just sitting in Matthew. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And today he has me focus on, thank you. He has me on Matthew 15, and I was reading and I instantly knew exactly what he wanted me to stop on, because he wants to talk about faith. And last night he spoke to me about childlike faith, and to have that childlike faith, because we are God's children. Good morning, everyone. We are God's children, and he takes joy in blessing us. He likes spoiling us. He likes making the enemy a liar. He likes making a fool out of the enemy and blessing his children. But we have to have that faith. We have to have that childlike faith. And I know people's like, oh, you're kind of joyful and carefree, and it's because you have complete trust and faith in God. And if you have that kind of faith, God is like, that's what I'm looking for. I can now begin to start pouring you out blessings, because when a dad tells you something when you're a child, you believe it, you stand on it, you believe it, you know that God is going to do what he tells you to do, you know that your dad is going to do what he told you to do. If he promised you that you guys were going to go out of town next week, when next week comes, you're going to be knocking at that door saying, hey God, hey daddy, hey, didn't you tell me last week you had something for me? Didn't you have? Okay, so that's what God is like. He's like, I need you guys to stand on my word. My promises still stand. Bring it back to me. If I told you a promise, bring it back to me. I want you to come boldly to the kingdom when you come in there. Don't come at me all timid, because children don't care. I told my kids we were going to the beach every day. They came in there and reminded me that, hey mama, you told me we were going to the beach. Hey mama, on the 20th you said we're going to the beach. When the 20th got here, they said, I know you sleep mama, but are you still finna take us to the beach? Go boldly before God. So in Matthew 15, here's a passage, and the woman has stopped Jesus, and her faith is going to make her have her blessings. So let me get into it really quick. I had to set the narrative for you guys. So Matthew 15, and I'm going to come to 22, 15, 20 through 28. So here we go. And behold, a woman of Canaan came from that region and cried out to him, saying, have mercy on me, O Lord, son of David. My daughter is severely demon-possessed. But he answered her not a word. And the disciples came and urged him, saying, send her away, for she cries out after us. But he answered and said, I was not sent except to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then she came and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered her and said, it is not good to take the children's bread and throw it to the little dogs. And she said, yes, Lord, yet even the little dogs eat the crumbs which fall from the master's table. Then Jesus answered and said to her, O woman, great is your faith. Let it be to you as your desire. And your daughter was healed from this very hour. God, there's so much impacted in that little bit. He was telling her, I come from the Israelites, the lost sheep. Jesus was like, I'm not finna waste my breath on somebody that's not one of my lost sheep. I'm not finna do none of that. And he was like, it's not good for me to take from my children to give to the dogs. And she said, yeah, even the dogs eat the scraps from the master's table, the crumbs from the master's table. And Jesus was like, ooh, look at that faith. I'm telling you no. I'm telling you I'm coming from my lost sheep. I'm telling you, and you ain't going nowhere. You ain't budging. You like, okay, I can be that dog. I can be whatever. But guess what? The dog still eat the crumbs from the master's table. I still got faith to know that if I believe in you, that you can do something over my life. You can speak into my daughter's life. You can send those demons away out of my daughter's life. I'm not letting you go, Jesus, until you bless me. I'm not letting you go, Jesus, until you bless me. I don't care about what you talk about. You came for the lost sheep. This is not how you know I'm not one of them lost sheep. I'm crazy enough to believe that I and my daughter are one of those lost sheep. And if you call me a dog, okay, but even the dogs eat the scraps of the table. Even the dogs eat the crumbs from the master's table. And I'm crazy enough to believe that I'm one of those lost sheep. So even if you throw a little piece of blessing out there, I'm crazy enough to know that I can catch that blessing. I can catch and receive that blessing because I done traveled this way, and I know a man that can make a way out of no way. And right now it looks like nothing is possible. It looks like my daughter is demon possessed. It looks like nothing is going to win, but I am crazy enough to believe that you can do all things. I heard about the miracles that you done. Her faith. Listen, I have that kind of faith, Jesus. I have that kind of faith. And because of that faith, Jesus like, your faith has made you whole. Go. Dare to believe in God. Dare to believe in the miracle signs and wonders that he can do for you. Because Jesus said himself, I come for the lost sheep of Israel. Who's to say that you're not that lost sheep? Do you have that much faith to believe? Do you have that much faith to believe that you could be one of those lost sheep? The lost sheep. And who can say if you are that lost sheep or not but Jesus? And because she knew who she was, and she was crazy enough to come boldly before Jesus himself, she knew she was going to be made whole. She knew her daughter was going to be made whole. Before I get off, I'm going to read this one more time for those of you guys who came in and missed this, because her faith was enough to heal her daughter. Listen, Matthew 15, verse 22. And behold, a woman of Canaan came from that region and cried out to him. What was Canaan? Aren't we trying to get into Canaan? Isn't Canaan the promised land? Isn't Canaan the promised land? Am I not correct? Okay. A woman came from Canaan, that region, and cried out to him, saying, have mercy on me, Lord, O Lord, son of David. My daughter is severely demon-possessed. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and urged him, saying, send her away, for she cries after us. But he answered and said, I was sent not except to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. I'm sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Canaan, where she come from, the land of milk and honey? Is she not that lost sheep and did not know it? Is she not from Canaan, the land of milk and honey? Hold on, let's get it. Let's get it, because we're going to let you know who you are, because he's speaking to her. And if you were just not walking in faith and not knowing who God was, you'll be like, well, he said he came for the lost sheep, so he ain't talking to me. How am I supposed to know that I'm that lost sheep? She stood on who she was and where she come from, because she came from that land of milk and honey. Let me open your eyes really quick. Listen. Then she came and worshiped him, saying, Lord, help me. She wouldn't back down. But he answered her and said, it is not good to take the children's bread and throw it to the little dogs. And she said, yes, Lord, yet even the little dogs eat the crumbs which falls from their master's table. Then Jesus answered and said to her, O woman, great is your faith. Let it be to you as you desire. And her daughter was healed from that very hour. She came from the promised land. She came from the land flowing freely with milk and honey. And Jesus said, I come from the lost sheep. I'm sorry, didn't they run? He said, I come for the lost sheep of Israel. I'm sorry, correct me, am I wrong? Didn't the Israelites flee from Egypt, cross over into the wilderness, and came through the promised land, which was Canaan? Isn't she that lost sheep? Didn't she come from that land of milk and honey? Didn't she come from that lost sheep? Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. She came from that. And so she wasn't backing down. And aren't we the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Are we not? Are we not those lost sheep? And didn't he say, we're not going to take from them. She knew who her God was. And she said, just like Jacob did when he wrestled in the desert with Jesus and with God and said, I'm not going to let you go until you bless me. She didn't let him go. She didn't turn away when he said, oh, I come for the lost sheep. And she didn't say, oh, well, I guess I'm not one of the lost sheep. She said, okay, Lord, help me. Lord, help me. And he said, I can't take from my children. She said, but I'm one of your kids. And one of my kids needs you because I know where I've come from. And are we not the lost sheep? Are we not who Jesus sent to die on this cross for us? We are that. So we need to start walking boldly to the throne and speaking to our problems and letting them know that Jesus already died for us. And we're not going to let God go until he blesses us. We're not going to let God go until he blesses us. Listen, we're crazy enough, God, to know who you are. And we are not going to let you go until you bless us. Because even the dogs eat the scraps off the master's table. And if you're in the building, that means the blessing is somewhere in the building. If you're in the building and you're blessing everyone around us, that means you're somewhere in the building. And God, we're not leaving this building until you bless us. We're not letting you go until you bless us. We're not letting you go until you bless us. According to our faith, be it unto you according to your faith is what God is going to do for you. God is in the blessing business, and he is getting ready to do something so big concerning you in your life. Do not let God go. Listen to me and listen to me well. Do not let God go until he starts blessing you. He's looking for that faith. He's looking for that childlike faith. He's looking for you to come and say, God, didn't you tell me that I was going to be prophet to nations? God, didn't you tell me I was going to be a lender and not a borrower? God, didn't you tell me that my kingdom husband is on his way? God, didn't you tell me that I was going to be a pastor to nations? Didn't you tell me that I was going to be the next millionaire in my family? God, didn't you tell me that your promises still stand over my life? God, didn't you tell me? God, didn't you tell me? God, didn't you tell me? He's waiting on you to knock at his door. He has his promises. He knows what he said. But do you know what he said? Do you know what he said? Now it's time for you to stand on what God told you to do. It's time for you to come back to the table and to the throne of God and say, God, hey, it's your girl again. I'm just coming to check on that blessing that you said that you were preparing in the presence of my enemies. God, I'm coming to you and saying, didn't you say you were building that table? I'm getting kind of hungry here, God. I'm just saying, do I need to get dressed up? Is this table going to be an elegant affair, or do I just got to get dressed in my sweat? Do I need to just have some room in these clothes to eat good? Or do I need to come up with my pinky finger out? Because I don't know what kind of affair it's about to be. But whatever kind of table that you're getting ready to prepare for me, God, I just need to know if it's getting ready, because I'm getting kind of hungry over here. And I'm crazy enough to know that you said if I drink from your well, I would never be thirsty again. If I eat from you, I would never hunger again. God, hey, listen, I'm getting kind of hungry over here. Your girl getting kind of famished over here. God, I'm crazy enough to believe that you have that table prepared for me. God, I'm crazy enough to believe that you still do miracle signs and wonders in my life. God, I'm crazy enough to believe. God, I'm crazy enough to believe. And I'm your child. And I know that you take enjoyment in blessing your children. Even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the master's table. And if you're in the building, I'm crazy enough to believe that if a sprinkle of a blessing come, I'm going to get that sprinkle. If a sprinkle of that crumb come, I'm going to get that crumb. I'm crazy enough to believe if you're walking by, I'm going to touch the hem of your garment and I'm going to be made whole again. I'm crazy enough to believe I don't need a lot, God. I can do enough with a little. Watch what I do. Give it to me and watch what I do. You can give me 1.5 million and watch what I do with it. You can give me 100,000 and watch what I do with it. God, you can give me another $1 and watch what I do with it. Watch what I do with it. Watch what I do with it. God, I'm crazy enough to know that you are in the building, and because you are in the building, miracles, signs, and wonders are here. I'm faithful with a little bit. Try me and see, God. Try me and see. Try me and see. Watch what I do with what you give me, God. Watch what I do with what you give me. God is in the business of blessing you. God is in the blessing business. Don't miss God when he come to that building. Don't miss God when he comes in that building. Listen to me well. Don't miss God when he comes into that building. Listen, the owls have been hooting all morning. That means wisdom is somewhere in the building. God says, I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you that what you asked for. And I'm going to add that wisdom to it. And I need you to come to me with that faith. I need you to come with that faith. Faith is going to move God. Faith is going to move God. Your faith is going to move God. According to your faith. According to your faith. Be it unto you. Listen to the owls confirming, the birds hooting. God is like, listen to me. Listen to me. According to your faith is how God is getting ready to bless you. According to your faith. I'm telling you. God says this is the season of try me and see what I do for you. Try me and see, won't I pour out the windows of heaven for you? Won't I pour out the windows of heaven for you? Try God in this season with that childlike faith and see what he does for you. He is about to do something that you've never seen before. God's thoughts are not our thoughts. His ways are not our ways. And he says you can't even imagine. You can't even imagine what God is getting ready to do for you. God is about to do something so big for you. If only you come to him with that childlike faith and you come boldly before the kingdom of heaven and say, here I am. Here I am. Before Samuel became that prophet, before Samuel became that big, powerful prophet, he was in Eli's house, and he's a little boy, and he didn't know yet who God was. But God came to Samuel, and he kept coming into the room, and he said, Samuel, Samuel. And Samuel didn't know who God was. He was yet a boy. So he went to Eli and he said, have you called me? And Eli said, no, I didn't call you. Go to bed, I'm tired. He came back out there again a second time. And God came in the building again and he said, Samuel, Samuel. Samuel ran out there to Eli. He said, did you call me? Eli said, no, I didn't. I'm tired. Go to bed. No, I didn't call you. He came back out there again. He said, here I am. Eli, did you call me? Eli said, no, I didn't call you. Go back to bed. God came again, and he said, Samuel, Samuel. This time he went back out to Eli, and Eli said, that's the Lord calling you. When the Lord called you again, said, Lord, here I am, your trusty and faithful servant. How can I help you? So the Lord came, and understand this, he said, the Lord came and stood in the room with Samuel, and he said, Samuel, Samuel. Samuel rose up, and he said, here I am, Lord. I am your servant. Use me. Listen, it didn't say God called out. It said God stood there and he called and he said, Samuel, Samuel. God is right there with you. He's not anywhere else. He's right there with you. He's calling your name. Lindaria, Lindaria. Michaela, Michaela. Katie, Katie. Who's in the comments right now? Tamika, Tamika. Jordan, Jordan. Listen, God is saying, I'm right here with you. I'm right here with you. Dare to know that God is right there. Yes, Penny, Penny. God is calling you. God is calling you. Florence, Florence. Stephanie, Stephanie. God is calling you. Brianna, Brianna. God is calling you. God is calling you. Understand, God is calling you. You better know when God is calling you. Yeah, Davanya, Davanya. God is calling you. God is calling you. Be crazy enough to answer that call. Answer that call. Answer that call. Yes, LaShonda, LaShonda. Whatever your name is, baby. Catherine, Catherine. Come on. Eric, Eric. Baby, God is calling you. Don't say, are you calling me? Here I am. Here I am. I'm here to answer the call. I'm here to answer the call. God, how can I use you? God, how can I be of service to the kingdom of heaven? How can I be of service of the kingdom of heaven? God, how can I be of service? Here I am, God. Here I am. Don't miss the call. Don't miss the call. Yes, Deja, Deja. Listen, God is calling you. God is calling you. He has a purpose for you. Come boldly to that throne and give it to God. Be it unto you according to your faith is how God is getting ready to move. Phyllis, Phyllis. Listen, listen. I'm going to call y'all names out for the next couple minutes because I got to get ready to go. Because God says, I need you to answer that call. God needs you to answer that call. Angela, Angela. Come on. Come on. Jillian. I need you to get it together. Adrian. Tanika. If I can't say it, just know I'm with you. Danita. God is calling you. Kimberly. Lisa. Answer that call. Coco. Pamela. Answer that call. Penny. Answer it. Trinity. Listen, I'm going to say Trinity 3 times because it's 3 in 1. God is 3 in 1. Listen, you better answer that call, Christopher. Answer that call. Ayana. Listen, answer that call. Abigail. God is in the building. Angelica. Answer that call, honey. Answer that call. Amber. Melissa. Judith. Listen, God is here for you. God is in the building, baby. Answer that call. He's asking you to come boldly. He's asking you to come boldly to the kingdom of heaven. God is calling you. He ain't calling you from a distance. He said, the Bible said, as is written in 2 Samuel, God said, listen, nope, I'm sorry, correct me. It's 1 Chronicles chapter 1. And God said, I was standing in the building. God was in the building when he was calling that. He said, God stood and said, Samuel. He stood there. He didn't say it from a distance. God stood there. He was in the building. So right now, God, I'm crazy enough to believe that you're standing right here and you're calling out your children's name. And you're saying their name twice. You're saying Lindaria. Listen, Jose. God is standing in the building and he's saying, I am calling to you. Answer the call. I love you guys. I got to get ready to go to work. Understand this. God is in the building. And he needs you to answer that call. According to your faith is how God is getting ready to move for you. I love you guys. I need you to understand who you are. And I need you to walk boldly to that kingdom of heaven. And I need you to tell God who you are. Tell God whose you are. And tell him that you're ready to do the assignment that is placed on your life. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, he knew you. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, you had a mission. Now it's time for you to get that mission. And now it's time for you to knock that mission out of the park. Because you are somebody. You have always been somebody. That's why the devil has came and told you that you were nobody. But I'm crazy enough to know that God turns nobodies into somebodies. Because you were never a nobody. You was always a somebody. That's why the devil has tried to steal, kill, and destroy your life. But baby, today I come to speak a word over your life, and it will be so. After I finish this, God is going to take a nobody like me, a girl from the projects, living with rats and roaches, with no hopes, no dreams, no aspiration in life, done strange things for a piece of change, was a stripper, done everything unholy, unrighteous, and God says, Lindaria, I choose you. And if God can do it for me, God can do it for you. And I tell you right now, before I get off this live, I declare and decree it over your life. God is taking a nobody and he's bringing you to the front lines. And he said, this nobody was never a nobody. This nobody is a somebody. And I'm taking my last and I'm making it first. Baby, you are somebody. If God can do it for me, you bet your bottom dollar God is going to do it for you. And if God is in the building for me, you bet your bottom dollar he's in the building for you. He's taking nobodies and he's turning it to somebody's. He's taking his last, the ones that are counted out, the ones that are incarcerated, the ones that are on their last leg facing suicide, the ones with the eating addiction, the ones with the eating bulimia, anorexia, body dysmorphia, the ones with addictions to everything under the sun of the everything. God is taking the ones that from domestic violence. He's taking all of those and he's turning them into somebody. And he says you're going to have a testimony to tell. And it's your testimony. Don't let nobody else tell your story, because nobody can tell your story more than you can tell your story. Tell it, baby. Tell it. God is taking a nobody, I declare it and I decree it, and turning them into a somebody. This is your season of elevation, and you better catch and receive it as he's calling your name twice. Because he's in the building where you are. You better let your light shine. And you better tell your story so nobody else will have to tell it for you. I love you guys. And go in peace.